A message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose.
Yes, what's good, everybody?
We back.
Welcome back to Veterans Minimum. The original host is back.
Yeah,
Got a lot of good feedback from you, bro. People were loving it.
I'm grateful that people were loving it. I was waiting anxiously just to see what the reception was like. I checked all the forums, all the big news sites. New York Post didn't write an article about me, so I figured I made it out alive. But you're back, so that's good.
We're back.
Yes.
All things Veterans Minimum or at Veterans Minimum. If you missed the Monday show, what we're talking about is George hosted. Because George went fucking nuclear on the picks last week.
I did.
So I was like, you know what? George, you host. So if you missed that, go back. Shout out to Arabia, all 32 NFL on Instagram. She came on the show. Even trolled me about the Giants.
It was
Which
so
you know
good.
how I am, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
If you can cut jokes on me, that means that we're good friends. So I appreciate that. A couple of housekeeping notes. 80 Patreon members.
80?
Yeah, paid members.
Ooh, we're
Hey,
close.
It's not a, this isn't a Patreon read, but you know what? Cheap plug, patreon.com/veterans minimum. $1 is all we're asking for. We'll come back to the Patreon in a little bit. I'm excited for this show. Hell, I'm always excited for the shows, but this one in particular, got a really interesting DM from Stephanie. She is a 22%er, right? We have 22% of the audience is great girls. Because if they listen to the show, great girls.
Cameron posted on her Instagram story that she was watching the show too, so I think we may creep into 24. Hey, boys in the control room, can we get the girls to start listening? Go to 26.
20, yeah.
Yeah.
Little by little. Just like the Patreon, $1.
Yep.
One post, get more and more. So shout out to the 22%ers. I think it's because we're handsome and we're great to look at.
That is true.
And also, it's a fun show. It's a fun show. You know my favorite comment that we get? That we have a very enjoyable show.
And that's what we strive to do every week for these people.
Yeah.
Hit
And
the
it's great.
airwaves.
It's great. Especially when you hit 12-1. You're the man, bro. You're the
That's
man.
what you got to do. Yes. So a 22%er left a DM.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slid into the DMs.
Stephanie.
Shout out to Stephanie. Great girl, by the way. Also, great girl.
Nice.
She wanted to know. You've seen the trend about icks, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, this is an ick. When a guy does this, it's an ick. She wants to know what are icks for us, and she put it into 3 different criterias: relationships, sports,
Mm-hmm.
life, social media. I love this because I have a bunch of them. I
mean, do you want to start then? Because I equally have as many.
yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that drives me the craziest,
Mm-hmm.
I do not care how beautiful the girl is. She could be Becky G, and everyone knows how much I love Becky G.
Wow.
But if I see Becky G walking through the wind and she's barefoot, I am out.
That's a good call. That's
I-
a good one.
Ladies, laptop down for this one. Stop. Just don't do it. I don't care. Deal with the pain of the heels. All right. I once tore my ACL, and 2 weeks after surgery was the Super Bowl in New York. I walked through Times Square with a torn ACL. I sucked it up like a man, and I dealt with the pain. Ladies, I don't give a flying fuck how bad the heels hurt. Do not walk barefoot after the club or through the casino or anywhere. It's gross. You instantly become a 0 out of 10. Becky G, 12 out of 10. You walk barefoot, I can't do it. I think it's my number 1 on my Mount Rushmore for icks.
Wow.
And I've seen
It's
so many
yeah.
great girls walking through the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And when they leave excess, or if they leave the pool parties,
Yeah.
encore,
Yeah.
barefoot,
Yeah.
gross, bro. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Would that, and I just need to know, would that make you a foot fetish guy? Because you would prefer the feet to be kept clean at the end of the night, you know, so that way when you're sucking on the toes, they're clean.
Nah, I'm not. Nah, that's definitely not my thing. But like, if I'm laying down watching a movie and she puts her feet on me, I'll do a little massage. I ain't sucking on toes. That's crazy.
Okay.
But if that's your thing, listen, it's all good. And especially if you're a Patreon member and that's your thing,
Yeah.
by all means, we won't knock it. Everyone got their thing. I'm 33 years old. I still watch wrestling. So everyone got some weirdo shit about them.
It's just an interesting thing. Like, would a foot fetish person want people to be barefoot more, or would they want them to preserve the foot? That's a question for the audience to answer. One of my icks, Nick, is, and I see it all the time, especially out in the grocery stores.
Barefoot?
Target? Nope. No.
Barefoot in the grocery store would be crazy.
That's homeless. That's not good.
Yeah, that's
not good.
Yeah.
Bad parenting. If I see your kid going nuts in an aisle and you don't get their ass in line immediately, it drives me nuts, Nick. Every time I see it, I want to go up to the kid myself and just be like, this isn't how you behave. Which, by the way, I feel like used to happen. I feel like when I was growing up, it was like every parent was like teaming up on all the kids for like a rule of domination, right? And we were all in line. And now these kids are just going ape shit in the aisle because they didn't get a toy or a Roblox gift card. And then the mom's like, no, not this time. If you don't fucking nut up and get your kid in line, I'm going to leave the country, Nick. That's what'll happen. That's an ick of mine. Bad parenting, especially in public.
Oh, dude.
Behind closed doors. I mean, shit. I can't see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if it's evident to everybody that you're not in control, it's like Cesar Millan, dude. You got to not let the dog dominate you. That's an ick of mine. Go with yours.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to read one from the Discord. Got a bunch from Discord also. I love this one. Shout out to J Will. Shout out to Buffalo. Shout out to the 716 Elmwood Avenue. I see you guys all out there. Women who say they don't have any female friends.
That's worrisome. Yeah.
You know what that tells me? You don't know how to keep relationships.
Or she's passed around.
Whore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could
just get along with guys better.
It could be. Have I ever told you about the at theory?
No.
Oh my God. This is the at theory. It's the Pythagorean theorem, the fucking Einstein and Socrates, and then the at theory is right around there. So the at theory on social media, shout out to Dylan. We coined this a couple years ago, and I've told some of my female friends, and they're like, oh my God, this is your best take ever. And we have a lot of good takes. You ever see a girl on social media post a photo with her girlfriends and all her friends are beautiful? And she's even an attractive girl too, but she doesn't tag them.
I get it. Now I get it.
Because I'm a big, far left. Who's that? I want to know who that is.
Right.
So when you're an attractive girl and you post your friends and don't tag them, big ick. So how I brought that full circle.
I like
the
it.
at theory. It's one of the greatest theories of all time. Tag your attractive friends. Do you know what else that shows me? Honestly, shows me that you're secure about yourself. You know your friend is beautiful. You still tag them. That girl, bigger ring when you take a knee. That's the girl that you want. The one that tags her hot friends. Because listen, some of us are free agents. Might want to mingle a little bit.
Right.
Put us on. The at theory. It's the best. Ties into this thing about women that say they don't have female friends. I like it when you're like, this is Susie, and Susie looks fucking amazing. And she tags Susie. Oh, dude, that girl, great girl.
Of course.
Thoughts on the at theory? Have you ever noticed it? I know you're kind of out the game, but not kind of. You're out the game, but
Nick, I know how to see who's in a photo. Yeah.
Fair point.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair point.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing I don't appreciate is stop making the mentions on the Instagram story so small. It's just tough to get the finger there. You know what I mean? I got big sausage fingers. You got to get you need a stylist to find these hoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's bad. But yeah, you want them to tag.
They got to tag.
Reasonable size on the mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a story post.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
For Nick. Come on now. Nick, this is a relationship one, and it's happened more times than it should have. Tampons in the toilet. Tampons in the toilet is one of the most disgusting things that you can wake up to in the morning. As one of our as one of the 22 percenters outside is giving us some love. But yeah, if
kind of awkward conversations to just stop at.
I swear to God, listen. Right? She gave us a fist pump to tampons in the toilet. She's like, that's me every day, you know, like, because I guess you do have to flush them, but like when the flush doesn't happen, it's worse than a shit. I'll tell you that much.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not a big blood guy. Like I see blood in a movie, I'm out. Like I'm not. Somebody breaks their leg. Like I'm not the first one to be like, let me go see that. I'm more like watching from a distance. So yeah, tampon in the toilet, icky.
Ugh,
gross.
Can't even imagine, bro.
There's a lot of.
I've
toilet
never
ones.
lived with a woman. Like I never had a girlfriend that long to like move in with them, so I wouldn't know. Can I tell you another one?
Yeah.
Ick. When I go to a girl's house and her bathroom smells.
How? Like, explain the smell though, because
like she just fucking destroyed the toilet.
Like shit smell.
Yeah, shit smells.
Or dirty pussy smell.
No, shit smells.
Okay.
That to me is like
you wouldn't be in the girl's house anyways if that was the case. You would have already known about that other smell.
Yeah. We can't get that far without knowing that smell. But the bathroom thing, dude.
Yeah.
We got to do a pod one day so you could really find a lot of things about me. I've done some whole
that's
shit.
That's gonna be one of the things you have to like. If they're respectable about it, like you don't want your woman just being like, I shit with the door open now. And you know it's smelly shits. Like you want your woman to be a little more reserved. The pooping is locked away, and I don't want to know about it.
Everyone's gonna think I have a foot fetish now because I'm gonna go back to feet. But I like a girl that has nice toes.
Right?
Like she has her,
except in the casino.
Except in the casino, right? I'm gonna be conflicted there because what if she has really nice toes, but she's walking barefoot? Now I'm not gonna know how to respond. But like, yo, you know, your toes oftentimes they're covered,
right?
So, like, I like a little pedicure. Like, it means that you take care of something that we don't see.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's another one. A couple more from the Discord.
Yep.
Shout out to Laura, another 22%er. In life, people that make something like politics their whole personality.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. Laura, you know what, Laura? DM me. I'm going to send you merch because this is an amazing take. This is an ick. Where honestly about anything, bro. Like when people are super, especially politics, and I got to be careful how I say this because last time I said MAGA hat on the show and the whole video got demonetized on YouTube.
Jesus Christ.
So probably going to have to bleep that out at around the 15-minute mark. But I have friends, bro, that are still going on about the outcome of the election from both sides. One is trolling the other that they lost, and then the other one's complaining that they lost. I'm like, bro, is this what we're doing for 4 years? I'm going to let you know, I'm going to unfollow you. If you're corny, big ick. If you're corny, big ick.
Yeah.
Like just cornballs, bro.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't care how long I know you. If you're corny, I'm unfollowing. So to the recent people that I've unfollowed, there's your answer. No more hiding behind keyboards or being surprised as to why. Just find you corny. I find a lot of people corny. But now it's just like, yo, I'm not interested in your content. You don't post nothing. You're posting this shit on top of everything?
Yeah.
Big ick. Shout out Laura.
I know, I'm just going to say this. Keep them around as reality TV. You know what I mean? Like reality TV really is garbage.
Yeah.
But you need it there because there's some times where you're just late on the scrolls and you're like, oh shit, this dude's still going off about this. That's crazy. That's icky. It makes you feel good about yourself. So it's like, there's some icks that you can like reverse twist back into like a reverse psychology way where, you know, you can make it a positive for yourself. Did you have another one from the Discord?
Yeah. Shout out to Rune. He says when someone can't take a joke.
Oh yeah. Don't be around me.
Easily offended. Oh yeah, you can't. I tell everyone true story. If I don't make fun of you, we're really not friends, and don't ask me for help if you're ever in trouble. For real. Like if I'm like trolling you and constantly shitting on you, and obviously you're probably doing the same thing back. I hope you're comfortable enough with me to troll me also.
Right.
Yeah, like that's some ride or die shit. But if I make fun of you and like you're like, oh fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Isaiah knows someone did it in his voice too. If you're like that, bro, like nah, come on, man. I can't do that.
Because you
I like
have
having
to.
fun. I don't take myself
Yeah.
too seriously. Life is so serious. There's so much real serious shit going on in the world. Every single day, there's either a tragedy or something horrific has happened. It's like, yo, you're just gonna be miserable the whole time. You're not gonna crack no jokes. I find comfort and solace in trolling friends,
Yeah.
trolling loved ones. That's
Fine.
how I express my love. I like being like, yo, bro, XYZ, whatever it might be. We're gonna make fun of you.
Have you ever been to a comedy show?
Yeah, many times, bro.
All right. There's certain people that I have taken to comedy shows and that I will never take to comedy shows again.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. Like the people that they weren't the people that, were heckling, but they're the silent hecklers, or the people that you get back into the car, you want to talk about all the funny jokes, and then you're like, oh, you found this offensive? Well, fuck you. Like, we'll never do this again. So yeah, people that can't take jokes,
That's like up there, bro.
huge.
That's a massive one.
It's red flag for that human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do one more each, and then I'm gonna run through a couple that were voted the top 50 icks of 2024.
Oh, shit. Can I just list off my last 6?
Yeah, good.
Okay. Ants in the pantry, icky. When the toilet paper rips, the worst. Puddles, especially on a sunshiny day. Fuck puddles. Bad margaritas, like way too much lime juice.
Yeah.
You're expecting like chips, salsa, nice margarita, and then you fucking are pretty much drinking lime juice. Ick. Silent movies. Can't watch them. Trick plays that lose yards, specifically triple reverses. It doesn't work.
Oh, bro. Do you know what
my
mine is? Can I tell you the play I hate the most?
Yeah.
Jet sweeps. Like 1 in every 17 on red zone work. The other ones, it's the defensive end comes too far up the field, and then the receiver bounces it out even more, and then he cuts it back, 17-yard loss. 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 12.
Icky.
Can I give you a couple sports ones?
Yeah.
Illegal formation penalties. Oh, especially when it's on a team that you bet on. Perfect example. You know what happened Monday Night Football? First play of the game, Nico Collins, 70-yard touchdown. He was my in this economy. Got called back for illegal formation. And it's like this much off the line of scrimmage kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude. Defensive holding being an automatic first down drives me crazy.
Icky.
3rd and 16, defensive holding on that side of the field when I threw it there. Automatic first down, awful. The new kickoff rule, ick.
Yeah. I can't surprise onside kick anymore.
Oh my God. Bro, the most iconic play in the Super Bowl. One of the most iconic plays. Your Saints with the Colts.
Yeah.
You can't have that no more. Like, fuck, man. That shit sucked, dude. That shit sucked.
What were some of the most voted on ones?
Laundry pile. Excessive punctuation in text. Damn, I do that a lot, bro.
Okay.
I'll fire off like 19 exclamation marks, and I'm not that excited.
Right.
So I could get why that's like frustrating.
I could, yeah.
3-in-1 shampoo.
For real, it can't do all 3, bro.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
People that do finger guns and air guitar, I'm with that, honestly.
Show me a person that could do a good air guitar, and I'll show you a liar.
Oh my God, this is a really good one. Not wearing socks with shoes. The one time I hosted It Is What It Is, I wore shoes with no socks on, and Kim fried me on the show.
Boy,
That was a rough
what a
look,
bold
yeah.
move by you.
Yeah,
By the
yeah.
way, I mean, your feet must have been drenched.
Yeah,
'Cause
it was
they were-
rough.
you were-
It
you
was
were in
in
some
like
loafers?
June also. Yeah.
no.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
Bet you wish you could have just took them off and walked on this cold
Yeah.
casino floor.
Yeah, barefoot. How about this? This one is the number 1 voted red flag / ick for women. via social media, like the social media thing, following Instagram models.
Okay.
They're gonna hate my page if that's the case, because
Yeah. Nick is.
my shit is jiu-jitsu, NFL and sports, gambling, IG thoughts. It's across the board.
Yeah.
It's for motivation, bro.
It's true,
It's
man.
for
It's your
motivation.
vision board. Instagram
Yeah.
is the modern vision board.
Yeah. Oh, and the last one, if you do this, you look like such an asshole running with a backpack on. Yo, if you do that,
Bro.
yo, and another one, last one, I promise, last one, and we'll get into the show. I'm really enjoying these. And shout out to
Yeah.
Stephanie, shout out to the Discord.
is
You
a
guys
great
got
one.
into this. When people are at the gym and they have the gallon of water, even though it's probably not the case, because I've seen like UFC fighters have that also.
Mhm.
In my head, I think I could take you in a fight. You need a whole ass gallon of water, and the gallons that have the timestamps on them. So by 3:30, you have to drink that much. You're a fucking loser, bro. You are a loser. If you drink water out of those fucking mugs, get the fuck away from me. I can't trust you. Oh, dude, I gotta keep. Oh man, I'm
Pull it up
behind my
once in
time.
the morning.
Fucking geek.
Look, I'm ahead of time. It's
Yeah.
it's 2:00 and I just hit 5.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
productive day I'm having.
Oh man.
Oh wow, Nick, that is I was gonna add this one. Walking and swinging your arms. That's icky. Like try you have
Like the Connor? Like excessive?
excessive when you're walking downhill, especially. If you're walking downhill, like an excessive arm swing it's icky.
Oh.
Yeah, pay attention to it the next time you're walking downhill. You're like, holy shit, my arms are swinging a lot.
Now I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
Now I'm gonna have to.
stiffen up a little bit, people.
This was great.
It was.
I love this one. This was awesome. Are you ready to get into some sports?
Sure,
Okay.
let's do this. God, that was good.
That was very good. Yeah. Yo, if you guys want any of our thoughts on topics like this, please let's do it, because this was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. I want to do a segment, George, called "It's Time to Have the Conversation." Now, you know how like on social media they'll be like, "It's time we have the conversation about so play," or "He was overrated," or "He's better than we thought," whatever it might be. We're gonna do that now. I have a couple topics. You have a couple topics. I don't know your topics. You don't know my topics. Kind of want to just have the conversation.
Let's
I'm
do
gonna
this.
call some people out. I'm gonna make fun of some people. You know what? The floor is yours. Lead us off. Give us one that you want to have the conversation about.
Houston Texans now own Texas. There has been a paradigm shift, and
Word.
I think we need to discuss how the Cowboys have fallen off of the face of the planet in the span of 9 weeks. It did not look this bleak at the beginning of the season, and nothing alerted us to be that they are this bad. But they have completely dismantled. There has been the Jerry Jones firing himself as the GM after the Lions game. There's a lot up in the air. Their stadium is falling apart, the Cowboys. The Texans, on the other hand, everything is lined up for the most successful run that a team could have with a rookie quarterback. Even better than what we saw with the 49ers and Brock Purdy. CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, Will Anderson on the defensive side, and the receiving core, once healthy again, is going to be elite. So to me, the true team in Texas now is the Houston Texans. I want to ask you this question, though, Nick. Do you think Jerry Jones is going to stand for that?
No way. He's going to do something outrageous. Like a crazy Bryce Young type of trade. Like he's going to do something wild to get that back. Because you're right, bro. I couldn't agree with you more. The more you talk about it. We mentioned a couple weeks ago when we did the down bad franchises. I don't remember if we talked about the Cowboys in particular, but we did mention that CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott together is going to be like 45% of the cap next year. And they got to decide what they're going to do with Lawrence and Parsons, and the offensive line is falling apart. Where on the flip side, Houston, because they have CJ Stroud and they're not paying him too much money, they'll be able to make some moves next year with the cap space as well, where Dallas is like tied up.
Yep.
So I think he's going to do something crazy. I think he's going to either trade for a quarterback or draft up to get his hands on one, maybe bring in like a Bill Belichick. Do you think that would work? Because I don't think it would work. I've seen people float around Bill Belichick, but I don't think that would work. I think a guy that would work with the Jerry Jones dynamic would have to be a young offensive-minded coach that has such a good reputation that they'll let him be. Right, like a Sean McVay would be perfect.
Right,
because he got the cachet, he got the experience, he has the accolades, and he'll be like, "Yo, listen, bro, I'm running this show here." As far as day by day team personnel,
yeah.
But besides that, like Bill Belichick, he's such an alpha, and then Jerry Jones is gonna want in, and I think the age of Bill Belichick plays a role because Bill Belichick is that guy.
Yeah,
but not at his age, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and Belichick wants full control. That's the number one thing with him is that Jerry would need to relinquish that power. But that could be a move because here's the one thing I will say about Jerry Jones. With the amount of press that he does, he has a great understanding of the public perception of him. By the way, hasn't been good for a long time, will never be good, but you at least know and you gauge what people's main source of concern is. And currently it's him. So he's got to deflect all this negativity off of him and put it onto the team. And it has to be Mike McCarthy being fired. I don't think that Bill Belichick comes in. Cliff Kingsbury comes to mind as a possible offensive coordinator, and then Ben Johnson. But then I also think that sometimes these coordinators, and the conversations that we've had previous, why would I want to leave something that's really good? Why would Ben Johnson want to leave the best offensive line, a two-headed monster at running back, a solid NFL quarterback, and great receivers to go put up with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb?
You know what that reminds me of?
Mm-hmm.
Everything I used to say about Eric Bieniemy.
Why would I leave?
Why would I leave?
Mm-hmm.
My stock is only going to improve.
Mm-hmm.
There's minimum 6 new jobs every year. Why don't I wait to get, you know where Ben Johnson should go? Especially if they don't make the playoffs? Cincinnati. I got Burrow. Why should I take the job in fucking New York?
Right.
Either New York team when I don't have a future there.
Right.
So I used to say this all the time about Bieniemy. It's like, bro, why should he go with the Washington football team at the time? They have nothing there. Why should he go to Jacksonville before Trevor Lawrence got there? I mean, now it wouldn't matter even if he was there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. If I'm going to leave a stable situation that I'm constantly going to be the talk of the town, I'm always going to be a playoff team. My offense is going to be through the roof because I have this system and these players in place. It's never going to decline.
Right.
Let me pick when the time comes and I could grab the right job.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll do it.
Here's the other issue that the Cowboys have, and what I think is honestly going to happen in a blockbuster move. Something tells me that Dak Prescott could have played his last game for the Dallas Cowboys. I think with Dak Prescott on that roster and what is owed to him, any new head coach that you have coming in is going to want to replace that. So the only way that you can fix it rather quickly, like think about this, the Cowboys mentally make the shift. We are going to get rid of Dak Prescott. We'll swallow the contract, whatever it is. We fucked up. And you go find Shadur. And I would not put it past Jerry Jones to get Coach Prime and his son to play on the Dallas Cowboys. How do you win Texas back? You do something fucking crazy. And that is exactly what's going to happen with the Cowboys. You're welcome.
I like it. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, but you're right. He's not going to let them just be the B team. They've never been the B team in Texas. So that's a strong take, man. I agree with you though. It's definitely Houston's. Like Houston is set up for success. They have the average age of their roster is 26 and a half years old. They have CJ Stroud for the next 2 years before they have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be able to, Stephon Diggs, they probably don't bring him back. He was on a 1-year deal. Maybe you go after another young wide. Maybe you go after Jamar Chase, a T. Higgins. Whoa, the more I think about it, yeah, that's what you do if you're Houston.
Yep.
Pair him up with Nico Collins. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. Okay.
Hit me with one. Let's have the convo.
Let's have the conversation about the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm.
George, I should have trusted myself, bro. Because coming into the year, so many red flags. I've talked about this so many times. But I think right now they're 5-5, and I don't think they're a playoff team. And it starts this week. They're at Green Bay. Then they play at Buffalo, home Chicago, home Rams, at Miami, home Lions. They end the year against the Cardinals, which could be the division game for maybe Arizona. Maybe Niners have to win that to make the playoffs. But, dude, there's just something about them that screams red flag. I don't like guys in and out the lineup because of injury. Their defense isn't as good as it was last year. I mean, shit, dude. I might have PTSD, but when Nick Bosa went out against the Seahawks, everything fell apart. Like, he's that valuable to that team. Fred Warner, we praised him last week. Probably the worst game he's played all year. Just absolute non-factor. And I just think their schedule is pretty daunting. And they're just a team that I think too many of the concerns coming into the year are just piling up at the same time. And I think they're not a playoff team this year. I'm ready to have that conversation about San Francisco.
Well,
They're technically last in the West.
Correct.
Yeah.
And a very, very close race in that NFC West. This is the second time in Brock Purdy's career where he's going to be an underdog. Put that into perspective. This is Vegas finally kind of hinting to exactly what you're saying here. Your time's up. Like, you guys have clearly shown that you're not capable of maintaining a healthy rush attack. Christian McCaffrey comes back, and dare I say, it takes time to acclimate to game speed, even for running backs, and being able to see the game at the speed that he was last year. Are they going to miss the playoffs? This is the week that we find out for sure. Is Kyle Shanahan the issue? Kyle Shanahan, obviously great coach. Mike McCarthy-esque career. Dominant, can put together good seasons.
But I know he's a punching bag, Mike McCarthy. He also won the Super Bowl. Shanahan hasn't. He's been to more.
Correct.
Even if you look at him as an offensive coordinator, he's been to more. He's been to 3 Super Bowls. 2 with the Niners and then with Atlanta. But yeah, like McCarthy's won a Super Bowl, bro. So I would say just I hear what you're saying.
100%.
Like McCarthy with the Packers were bye weeks and top seeds and just would lose in the first round or the first game they played. So let me read you something right now. The wild card teams. You got Vikings 8-2, Packers 7-3, Commanders 7-4. Then you have all 3 teams in the West at 5-5. Seahawks, Rams, and Niners. And the Cardinals are 6-4, first in the division right now. So right now they're technically the 3 seed is Arizona. And then, you still have lurking is Tampa Bay. They're 4-6. Chicago's 4-6. Your Saints are 4-7. They're in that discussion. Like it's going to come down. 9-8 might make the playoffs.
Yep.
And I just think that San Fran, of all the teams, has the most difficult schedule left of the teams from Tampa Bay to Minnesota, as far as like those wild card teams.
Right.
And I just don't see it with them, man. This is a big game this week because they play the Packers. You'll hear them in just a little bit when we get to the picks. But
yeah, the 49ers.
I'm concerned about them.
I found it to be of a big concern when you have Deebo Samuels pushing the long snapper on the sideline. What was it, 2 weeks ago? Like, that's a lack of control from a person that holds the boombox. You can't have your boombox holder pushing one of the white guys. By the way, I thought about it on the drive home. I will allow the boombox if we get George Kittle up front, Kyle Juszczyk, and Christian McCaffrey. Where are they when the boombox? Like, it seems like there's almost two teams on one team. And it's not a, you know what I mean? You got to diversify the boombox at the beginning.
Yeah, because Christian McCaffrey and then probably play like fucking Zach Bryan and Morgan Wallen, and Debo wants to play some dope shit. Play some YG and E40.
How about we meet in the middle and we go Shabuzi?
Shabuzi. Can I tell you another one, even though I just went with the Niners, just because it ties into this week and this game this weekend?
Yeah.
The sleeping giant in the NFL is Green Bay. Bro, when Jordan Love got hurt in that first game, the way it looked like torn ACL, Achilles, out for the year. If you were to tell Packer fans that they're 7-3 after 10 games, after seeing that, you'd be like, huh, I'm in. Bro, they have a lot of weapons on offense. I love their defense. Josh Jacobs, fucking stud in the backfield.
Yeah.
I really like Green Bay, and I think, bro, with how well Philly's been playing, obviously Detroit every week, talk of the town, they're beating people by like 40 points. They're in the division. They've already beat the Packers.
Yep.
Watch out for Green Bay, man. I know they were my pick to win the NFC, to play the Jets. Awful Super Bowl choice. But I love Green Bay, bro. Everything I'm seeing about them, I think they're the sleeping giant in the whole league. In the whole league. Because everyone is Kansas City, Buffalo, rightfully so. Mm-hmm. The Steelers, the Eagles, the Lions. Hell, even the Cardinals are getting shine. Here's Green Bay 7-3. You know what? Forget about us. It's gonna be the NFC title game, and guess who's gonna be there? And they're a team that I think they could go into any building. The way they're built defensively, the run game. Jordan Love got a lot of different weapons. Christian Watson had a big game last week. Watch out for the Packers, bro. Could still get them at 20-1 to win the Super Bowl, 10-1 to win the NFC. And look, they'd have zero fear playing the Lions in the playoffs. They beat them last year in Detroit on Thanksgiving.
It'll be the third matchup.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Packers are the team I would not want to play Green Bay come playoff time.
I agree with you. They have a built-in like pedigree of success when it comes later in the season. They shocked us last year. I still remember vividly engineering a podcast as I watched Jordan Love throw the ball across the middle of the field to go down and beat the 49ers. Literally, that one decision, if he makes a running scramble play, gets out of bounds, you're talking about a 49ers team that everybody thought was unbeatable. And the Packers went in there and they peppered them for 4 straight quarters all the way up until the end. That's my last memory of Matt LaFleur in a big-time situation. He's able to get his guys there. That's a huge factor. Come later on in the playoffs, the things that you start handicapping for, the coach, the quarterback, the health. The coach means a lot. And they'll get past a lot of teams. I mean,
yo, look, I agree with what you're saying. If you look at their losses this year, lost to the Eagles in Brazil, Jordan Love went down. They lost to Minnesota at home. Remember, they were down 28-0 at halftime. That was when Jordan Love returned And the whole first half, it looked like a guy that was coming off an injury, got going in the second half. They lost that by 2. And then they lost to the Lions in that wild-ass game, the first outdoor game for Jared Goff and the Lions. And they ended up controlling that game. Like, he looked like the quarterback that never played outdoors, not Jared Goff. And you look at the rest of their schedule. It starts this week. They play home Niners, home Dolphins, at Detroit, at Seattle, home Saints, at Minnesota, home Chicago, who they've beaten, I think, 127 times in a row.
Yeah.
I think it's like 18 times in a row.
No, I know.
Them. It's something really ridiculous.
Disgusting.
Yeah. So I like Green Bay, man. I'm not saying that they're gonna I'm almost positive they'll go in as a wild card unless something horrible happens to the Lions and they collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have the easiest schedule the rest of the way. Detroit probably loses one more game the rest of the year. So put them at 15-2 as the top seed. By the way, preseason show, someone flagged it in the comments that either you, me, Josh, maybe, someone said 8-1 for them to have the best record in football. And that's in the conversation. You know, Kansas City's schedule is about to get really tough.
Facts.
And, you know, where Detroit's isn't. So, yeah, Green Bay, man, watch out for the Packers.
Well,
give me another one.
Yeah, Detroit. Well, that entire conference or that division is a gauntlet. So they're going to all beat up on each other. That makes me hopeful for a lot of other teams. And I'm just going to come out and say this right now because it's going to happen. I have a strong inkling that Kyler Murray is going to be the NFL's MVP this year.
How dare you?
He's at 22-1 right now. The Cardinals, who started off under the radar team, have finally figured out what this offense is really good at. And it's a balanced attack with James Conner rushing the ball and Marvin Harrison being one of the most elite receivers in the NFL. You said it before we started here. Marvin Harrison Jr. has 6 touchdowns on the season, silently almost. And I said, well, it's probably because every highlight or every touchdown that he's made, the dude has no corners around him. He is unguardable. So he's starting to figure out the pace of the offense, which is great because now you have the balanced rushing attack and you have a quarterback in Kyler Murray that he's taking football serious this year, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Let me pull up his stats here for us so that way I can paint the picture fully for you. But just know this, for the remainder of the year, they only have one more outdoor game that is of factor. They have this week in Seattle, and then they have in Carolina at the very end of the year. But the back half of the Cardinals' schedules is teams that are below 500 or that won't make the playoffs. Kyler Murray, how do you feel about him as an NFL MVP candidate?
Bro, his second year in the league, he was 40-1, and I bet him. And that was the year that they got D-Hop. And everyone that remembers the show remembers me highlighting him for MVP. After they did the Hail Murray against the Bills, he was a pick'em to win the MVP. And then he got hurt against New England. So I like it. I like it. Now, his numbers.
He's currently at 2,058 passing yards, 12 touchdowns,
3 interceptions.
3 interceptions.
And then everything that he's done on the ground. The thing is that is the MVP a numbers award? Because last year they kind of told us it wasn't.
Correct.
Dak had like 10 more touchdown passes than Lamar. Pretty sure they had the same record last year. I think both of them were 12-5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking that up as we're doing that. 13-4 was Baltimore. So one more win they had.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think Kyler, the numbers are going to hold him back. But
they could be in contention for top seed in the NFC if they win out. Let me list off their schedule for the
Sure.
They have at Seattle, at Minnesota versus Seattle, or Seattle at home, the Patriots at home, at Carolina, at the Rams, and then what could be a very meaningful primetime game against San Francisco to go to the playoffs. So you're telling me that if Kyler Murray, leads the Cardinals all the way up to the end of the season, and they're sitting at, what would that be? 10-4, and they're in that contention to make a playoff spot. They have one of the rookie sensations. This is really good for your Marvin Harrison Jr. Rookie of the Year play. Let's say Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix fall off the face of the earth, and he goes off. The timing could be just right for these two. And the Cardinals they're a team that could put up points. So I don't see why we shouldn't consider that this is a possibility. You know that he's going to have 3 games out of the next 4 in which he's going to go off, enough to warrant that number being moved to 10-1, 12-1. If he's really good, you could see it even go into the single digits.
The matchups are going to be very favorable for the Cardinals, bro, because they play bottom half of the league defenses against the pass. And then in particular, Marvin Harrison, something I definitely have my eye on, because I have a generational parlay cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys have paid attention to the picks, you know what the parlay is. I promise at the end of the year, I'm going to post it anyway. But I've been looking at it, because if Marvin Harrison could have a Puka kind of run last year, it's very possible. If he could just rattle off like 6 straight 100-yard games and a touchdown, it's going to be, especially if like Bo Nix struggles, even though he's getting hot, and then Jaden Daniels too. And then you look at the teams that they're going up against. The best team against wide receivers is the 49ers. They're 10th in the league. But then after that, the way you're looking at it, they have Seattle twice, New England, 21st and 23rd in the league. Then they have the Vikings 30th in the league. The Panthers are 18th. So it's some good matchups there. Yeah, man, Kyler's going to be interesting, bro. 20-1, 22-1, like you said.
Yeah. Sprinkle something on it. This could be the long shot that gets some serious play at the end of the year. We said primetime games matter. They have the ability. There's 2 games on their schedule at the very end of the year, division games that can be flexed into primetime spots. And if Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. are electric, they will win that spot. Now we just got to hope the Rams and the 49ers hold up their end of the bargain. But, yeah. Dude, if they win out.
It's an interesting take. Yeah, totally.
13-4. Hottest team in football going into the playoffs?
I mean, shit, they're already the hottest team in football, bro. They've won, I think, five games?
4 in a row.
4 in a row they've won? Yeah.
4 in a row. And they got 6 more. 7 more.
Let's see. Can I give you my last one?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is a home wrecker.
Tell me about it.
Remember a couple of weeks ago I said he's the toxic ex-girlfriend that makes you stop talking to your friends?
Yep.
It's gotten even worse. I need to double down on that even more. He's the girl that comes into your life that makes you stop talking to all your friends.
I would say,
because everyone has that friend too, right?
Yeah.
Everyone got that one friend that, like, we used to call it goggles when your friends had goggles. Like, all they see, like your peripherals, they don't see anything else. They just see her, right? And that's what the Jets were with Aaron Rodgers. Hey, I don't want you to talk to him no more. Fire him. Salah gone. I need my boy. Devontae comes in. They haven't won a game since. Well, they won 1 game since he got there. GM got to go. Randall Cobb got to get signed. Alan Lazard got to get signed. All these guys got to get signed. It's gotten, I think, worse and worse. And I think, to bring it back to a couple weeks ago when I said this, just doubling it down more, they are in an awful situation, bro. Like a really bad situation. Zach Wilson has a better win percentage than he does with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because he was a punching bag too. I just think for them, they need to do a complete rebuild. Get rid of some of these older players, get what you can, And even some of these younger players, bro, like Sauce Gardner, I think he's
fed up.
Yeah, he's fed up, but I also think he's becoming kind of overrated. Like we're living off him 2 years ago. Yeah, we've talked about corner. It's such a volatile position. One year you come in, you're lights out, you're shut down as a rookie, and then after that, it's hard for you to have that sustained success. And if you do, that's when you become a Richard Sherman and Darrell Revis, Champ Bailey. You could do it for so long. Like it's a very difficult role to play on a team. I just think Aaron Rodgers, it's everyone else's fault but his. And at some point, you got to be held accountable, and I don't think the Jets are doing that.
Yeah, he's the girl that comes in your life, says that she's on birth control, and she's really not. And all of a sudden, you're a father.
You got a junior running around.
You got a little junior running around.
Yeah.
And then she says, hey, let's move to the middle of Kansas, and joins a cult.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Hey, you have a lot of things going for you. Let me fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what happened with Rodgers and the Jets. They had a young nucleus. Like, you know who else I blame? Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford.
Because they laid out a foundation that he thought he could follow.
Completely misled all these franchises in the NFL because Brady said, yo, you know what? Tampa Bay is stacked. We've all felt as if Tampa Bay got a quarterback, they'd be good. What happens? They win the Super Bowl. The very next year, yo, Stafford's always been that motherfucker in Detroit, but no one sees him because they win 6 games a year. Let's get him on the Rams. Oh, shit. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Odell. Bam. They win the Super Bowl. So now everyone's trying to – you're Saints. Yeah, Derek Carr. I know.
Yeah, I know.
The level of quarterback also, right? Like I'm talking about everyone knew Stafford was good all those years. And then obviously we knew about Brady. But Jets are like, yo, let's just buy this Super Bowl. Let's pay Rodgers, get him in here. And look, yo, I wonder what happens if he never gets hurt last year. Because I also think that a lot of it has to do with him recovering off the Achilles. Like he really doesn't want to get hit at all. Can't move like he once did. I think that plays a role in it too, but I also blame Stafford and Tom Brady, bro.
I blame Pat McAfee for allowing the prime example of platforming with Aaron Rodgers. You're making him cooler than what he is. If Pat McAfee would do him a solid, he would say, A-Rod, how about we cool it on the Tuesday pods until you can get above 500 or at least have a better win percentage than Zach Wilson.
What about this also? Remember when I was saying he got to do some wild shit? He got to say something wild? He didn't say nothing wild this offseason. I needed him to come out and say, like, the earth is flat.
Yeah.
I need him to be like, yo, bro, everything you guys said during the pandemic was a lie. Like, get the crowd riled up. Go on Joe Rogan. They played Monday night, Sunday morning, go on Rogan. Everyone will be like, he's not with his team. I was half joking, but I was being serious. I was like, yo, you need him pissed off. I need him to go on there and be like, yo, listen, fuck Green Bay. They ain't shit. Like, go crazy. That's what I wanted from Aaron Rodgers, and we didn't get that. And now look, ayahuasca on the way.
Yeah, well, retirement on the way.
Retirement.
That'll be that's the next big thing.
I would bet that. If there was an option to just bet that he's going to retire before the year ends, I would take a stab. Imagine plus 600 him to retire. Oh, dude, that's an easy.
By the way, show me where you'd find those odds.
That's what I'm saying. That shit's available.
Hovering around plus 180 right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Come on now. If you find 6-1 on that, sign me up.
Totally. Do you have any more?
I have one more, Nick, and this came by way of a Lou Williams clip from a podcast earlier today where he was talking about a game in which they're playing in New York. It was like a noon game, and the night before, he had stayed out at the club. He had partied his ass off until the club lights legitimately turned on, and he got pushed out of the club. And he had to go play a basketball game roughly 4.5 hours, 5 hours after that. So he was still hammered. He was wrecked. He was able to make it all the way through pregame warmups, and he was 6-man at the time playing for the Clippers. He comes off the bench and he performs like shit for the first 2 quarters because he's still drunk as hell, right? And so he has this moment of realization where he's like, I'm going to either tell somebody or I'm going to tell the coach. Like, I can't live with me knowing that I'm fucked up right now and I'm costing our team. So he goes up to Doc Rivers and he says, "Coach, I'm fucked up." And he's like, "Hey, Lou, you're going to play the entire second quarter because I need you ready for the fourth quarter. I need you to sweat that shit out." Really bad Doc Rivers impression, but
I think you started off good.
I started off, "It's not Blake's fault. It's not Blake's fault." I could do a better one. But anyways, Lou Williams tells Doc Rivers that he was hammered and then he was out getting pussy till, 6 p.m. in New York and there was a noon tip-off. It brings up, let's have the conversation. Should players be more honest with coaches about their health situation? Because you've always talked about it. You see the players in the Miami clubs, you know that they're going to underperform the next day. Why don't these players, be a little more truthful with the coach and say, "Hey, this is where I'm at right now. Like, I'm seeing 3 baskets."
I don't think it's generalizing all players and coaches. I think it's give or take relationship player and coach. Perfect example. Dennis Rodman told Phil Jackson, "Yo, I need a Vegas trip."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I need to go to Vegas for the weekend. And I'll come back and I'll be locked in and I'll be good to go." First of all, Dennis Rodman was one of the greatest defenders and rebounders of all time. And Phil Jackson knew the kind of guy he was and how, like, in a weird way, it would help him. So I think it all depends, the transparency that you're talking about. I think it depends, like, what's your relationship with your coach? What's your relationship with your friend? Like, I'm sure you have friends that you tell things to that you don't tell me. And then vice versa. There's a lot of things that I haven't told you that maybe our relationship isn't that. Like, I have friends that he's like, "Yo, bro, listen, I love you. You're my dog. I don't want your problems. If you're depressed, don't call me. I got my own shit. I can live with that. You put up boundaries. I'm cool with it."
Mm-hmm.
One of my best friends in the world. But is that the relationship that all coaches and players should have? I don't know. I think it's case by case. I feel like I didn't really answer your question.
No,
I don't have a problem with it if
Yeah.
I know that it's not going to be something that's going to ruin my relationship with that coach.
Mm-hmm.
And also, truthfully, if I was a coach or a GM, well, "Yo, bro, this happens all the time. Can we maybe get it together?" If it's an exception, then I could probably live with it a little bit more.
So I'll close off by saying this. Lou Williams, that game, after Doc Rivers said you're going to play the entire second quarter, went on to score 23 fourth quarter points.
Fire.
And win the Clippers the game. Which goes to kind of my point in saying it's a weight lifted off your shoulders.
You're not hiding it.
Bro, he's trying to not breathe on people because he smells like Henny. Like, you really, like, worry about shit. People know I'm fucked up right now.
Yeah.
And so when you can just finally go up to Doc and just be like, "I'm drunk right now." And Doc's like, "Dude, I know, I played a lot of games drunk." That's why I think it has to almost be a player's coach. And not too many teams have that.
No, for sure. And I think it's also the relationship too, bro.
Yeah.
I think it's the relationship.
Greg Popovich, you'd be able to tell him.
Yeah, and I also think, like, if you have tenure,
Yeah.
if you just join the team, I think that's kind of a red flag. That would be an ick, to bring it back to the beginning of the show. I'd be kind of upset about that. But I think if you have if Tim Duncan and Manu told that to Pop during their decade-long relationship and player-coach relationship, yeah, I think you could live with that. I talk about Bill Parcells with Lawrence Taylor all the time. He knew he was a fucking cocaine cowboy.
Right.
Coming into practice with a handcuff on because he couldn't get it off his wrist.
Yeah.
And all this crazy shit he was doing, filming movies, coming back, getting 3 sacks, breaking people's legs, and then bouncing. It's like, yo, that's the relationship that they had. So I think it all depends on the relationship, bro. But I like it, though. I'm a fan of transparency. I'm at a point in my life with everything where I'm not trying to guess why you're upset with me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty self-aware. I have an idea. I
Uh-huh.
could be a dick. I could be. I thought before we were talking about like, yo, I'm a troll. I like having fun. I like joking around. So I could see why someone might dislike me for something. But like, bro, I went back home a couple weeks ago and I saw my one friend and I was like hyped to see him. And he gave me like a look away dap. Talk about ICKS. I think Jory and I in the control room have talked about that. Like the dapping someone and looking away.
Ooh.
It's like that shit is disrespectful, right? That shit is whack. I hate that. So like he did that to me and I was just like, what the fuck I do to you? I didn't do nothing to you. I'm like, I'm good on you now, bro. Took a picture.
Yeah.
He wanted to get in the picture. I was like, nah, you good, man. Don't worry about that.
That
So
was
I'm not
crazy.
trying to figure out
Yeah,
why you're upset with me.
for sure. I want to know.
So
We're grown adults.
yeah, and
Let's talk
I
about
say
it.
all that because I wanted to add now, as you were mentioning this topic, Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, they had a little incident where they had a team only meeting, players only meeting, and he was just like, yo, he kind of called them out, like, yo, basically, what's good? What's going on? You're in one game, you're out one game. Are you there with us? You know, you're the franchise player. I have this burden on myself. We're last in the East. I did say 50.5 wins, the under 76 was my favorite bet for the playoffs, for the NBA season this year. But to me, I look at that as that's a good teammate. That's a good dude who calls him out on his BS because he wants his best interest.
Yeah.
And the best interest for him is the team's best interest. And then Maxey in particular, I'm sure Maxey plays better when he has Embiid on the floor. The team definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cool with that, man. I think transparency and the relationship you have with your players and your coaches and your staff, I think it goes a long way because also, bro, they'll protect you in public.
Facts. Yeah.
You don't think Doc would, if he did have a bad game, he'd be like, he felt under the weather. Imagine he shot 4 of 17 from the field. He's not going to be like, oh, yeah, he was out until noon. He got to the stadium 20 minutes ago. No, he would protect them. So to me, I think it's better. It's better to tell the truth because then you don't got to circle back on your lies
Yeah.
and try to remember all the shit that you said. I've done that too in the past, bro.
Doc's protected a lot of people.
A lot of people.
A lot of people that shouldn't have been protected.
Yeah, totally. Shit, there's a whole fucking documentary and a team got sold because
Bro,
of it.
Doc Rivers is, yeah.
Yeah,
He's a homie.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. Let us know. Let us know what you guys want to have the conversation on. I didn't get to tell you this the other day. I have staying with the theme of ICKS. You know what pisses me off? Like really bad.
Hit me with it.
The 1972 Miami Dolphins that pop champagne when a team is no longer undefeated, and the '08 Celtics. Two franchises that have milked the shit. I know you're a Celtics fan, so I'm glad that you're here.
Yep.
No two teams have milked 2 championships more than them two. The Dolphins, all right, you were the only undefeated team. I think you played 7 games back then. I think they went 12-0. Honestly, I think they went 12-0. We're not going to see an undefeated team. But this whole popping champagne, you guys are corny, bro. Stop being corny. And the Celtics, the '08 Celtics. Like Doc Rivers is still getting jobs. He has the worst record in NBA playoff history with a 3-1 lead. One of the most overrated coaches of all time. And they've milked the shit out of that one title, bro. That one title, they milked the shit. And yes, I'm a salty New York Knicks fan. I'm not a fan of Boston. But also, like, you won one title. And they dangle it like crazy. And also, it's the Celtics.
Because we beat Kobe Bryant.
Right. Right.
And they're in their prime. We assembled one of the greatest teams that basketball's ever seen.
I can't get behind that, bro.
You can't get behind that they're not. That'd be absurd to say that wasn't one of the best.
They built a super team.
Yeah.
They built the
At a
big 3.
time.
They started it.
Correct.
They were the first one.
Uh-huh.
So they go on and they win the ring. And then all of a sudden now that team is like, and the other thing, it's the Celtics that did it. If it was the Hawks and it's their only ring, be my guest. But you've won 18?
Listen, because people were giving us bullshit. They were like, all the ones that were back in black and white television days don't count.
Yeah.
Well, here you go. Knicks fans?
Not a fan. Not a fan. When I see the Miami Dolphins players popping champagne because the Chiefs lost, it's like, you guys are corny, bro. You guys played in an era where you played 12 or 13 games a year. Congrats. All right. Congrats. I don't know what else to tell. I just find that shit.
They're old now, too, bro. It was 1972. Those people are like almost 100 years old.
They're like in their 70s and 80s, probably.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was 50 years ago.
Yeah. Let them pop champagne. It's not going to be too many more years before.
How dare you? No, hey, natural causes. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit happens. All right. Patreon, before we get into our picks. Like we said earlier in the show, 80 paid members. We love each and every one of you. But in particular,
yes,
Daniel Gibson, Mahul Patel, Abel Rezin, Ben Coetzee, and Christopher Velasquez, Derek Plates, Devin Rendon, Dylan Chadwick, Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley, Mike Stevens, Nick Crummage, Thomas Robinson. Shout out to Michael. Shout out to Colton. And shout out to Mark, newest members of the Patreon. Patreon.com/veterans minimum. Like we say, $1. That's all we ask for. Not going to lie to you. We're not going to scam you. $1 American dollar a month. The goal is to get a shitload of $1 contributions.
yes.
Jory in the control room, $1.
$1.
Jory, you even see it on your statements? Do you even notice it? Nah, you don't even notice it, bro.
Doesn't even notice
$1? What else is a $1 transaction?
And Jory's been hitting his bets lately too.
Yeah,
So talk about and the correlation that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You put it
You
forth.
put good into the atmosphere.
You get the good back.
Patreon.com/veterans minimum. Okay, week 12 picks. Dude, let me tell you, you set the bar very high for yourself.
I did.
Because now people want 12-1 only.
And that's what I'm going to deliver to
Yeah,
the people,
again?
bro. I told you, all right, if I want to host the show again, it's got to be over 12-1. All right, we've set the bar. So now in this economy for the rest of the year is going to be insane odds.
All right, so talk to me. Start us off. Give us your week 12 bets. Pick a topic and go ahead.
Well, I'll start with this one. I'm going to save my in this economy for the last one. So the people, I'm building the suspense a little bit. Just know you're going to get great value from that spot, like you did last week with Taysom Hill. I'm going to start with Becky this week.
Great girl.
I'm remaining with the same theme that I did last week in this spot, and that is big time double-digit favorites that are going to kick the ever-living shit out of bad football teams. This week, the Chiefs are 11-point favorites playing the Panthers. Double-digit favorites are perfect this year. They're 5-0 straight up and against the spread this season, marking the first time that they've been undefeated outright through 11 weeks since 2004. So this is a historic year for teams that are really good, and the discrepancies between these teams are extremely evident at this point in time in the season. I feel like in past seasons, you see a lot of double-digit favorites earlier on in the year when teams are still in that like surprising you kind of phase. The one thing that you don't need to be surprised about is that the Chiefs feel hurt. They want to go prove that they are the class of the NFL. And how else do you do that other than beating the Panthers by 30 points? The Lions set the precedent last week. Whenever you're a double-digit favorite, you got to step on their throat. That is what's going to happen this game. I find great ease of comfort saying that the Chiefs even played up to an alternate spread of 16. If you're looking to get some value, you will be comfortable in this game. That's my Becky.
Okay. I will say that of all the big favorites this year that you mentioned, I believe all but one were at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little concerned there. I like that the Chiefs lost the week before.
Yep.
That's a good one right there. The Chiefs are massive favorites on the road, like we said. He is 4-0 straight up against the spread. Mahomes is as a double-digit favorite away from Arrowhead. Rough one, George. It'd be the first time in his career he covers that spread. 0-3-1 against the number as a big road favorite. I like it though.
Yeah.
I like it.
It had
It's
to
not
come off a
division.
loss.
It had to come off a loss. It's not a division game. We know we don't like backing bad teams. Carolina, bad football team. I'm in.
It's a prove it week.
Yeah.
It's a prove it stomp on them. And it had to have been the Lions last week. If the Lions don't steamroll the Jaguars, it doesn't set like that precedence, bro. That people in the NFL, right? They might not read a lot of things. They definitely don't listen to podcasts like us. The one thing that they do see is the fucking scorecard at the end of the week. And I guarantee you, Andy Reid's like 52. All right, bet. Like, put it on him this week. So Becky, this week is Chiefs for me.
Yeah, and also last one, Bryce Young, 4 times in his career has closed as a underdog of 8 or more points, 0-4 against the spread. So it's you got a lot of things going in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
On the Carolina side, not so much Kansas City.
Yeah.
But okay. I am gonna go with. Can I give you my toxic one?
Okay.
I would stay away from the Seahawks and Cardinals game.
A lot of implications.
A lot of implications. Cardinals off a bye on the road. A lot of hype. George just mentioned Kyler Murray, first in the division. Vibes are good. Seattle as an underdog at home. In the past used to be an auto bet. I'm just staying away from that game. It screams toxic. Just a bad, bad game. There's no way I would bet it. No way I would bet it. Gonna watch it because I hope Marvin Harrison can continue to put up some big numbers. Maybe he closes in on Offensive Rookie of the Year, which, by the way, prior to the Thursday Night Football game last week, Commanders and Eagles, Jaden Daniels minus 1,600 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. After that game, and then after Bo Nix's game, he is now minus 400. Bo Nix plus 600. And then after that, it's a wide range. I think the next name after is Marvin Harrison at 40-1.
Wow.
So it's going to be one of those two, most likely based on the odds.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't give a pick for that, so I'm going to give you an actual pick. Dare I say, Ursulita. The Indianapolis Colts are going to win outright this week.
Wow.
They are 7.5-point underdogs at home against the Detroit Lions. I think this is I've been yelling at the letdown for weeks. They continue to beat the shit out of people. They're doing it at home. Now I know they're going on the road, but it is an indoor game. I think this is the week that the Colts lose by like a field goal. This is 23-20. Scrappy team at home. The Colts are kind of in the playoff race as well.
Right.
They got Anthony Richardson back in there. Could be a lot for them to handle. It's a quarterback that they haven't really had to deal with this year. And I like it. It's a tricky spot for a big favorite. Road favorites after big wins. Teams who are road favorites, the game after being double-digit favorites in any location. 40-51 against the spread in those games. And I just think that it's going to be a close game with the Colts.
I agree with you.
Jonathan Taylor, ground and pound. Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, that's
and also, let me tell you this one. Colts, at home as an underdog, buzzsaw. Ready for this? 13-2 as home underdogs in the last 30 seasons when an underdog of 6 or more points.
It's insane. That's 90%. Yeah.
Close to it, yeah. And also, Steichen, 1-score games. If the point spread says anything, it's going to be a 1-score game. 14-5 against the spread. I absolutely love it. And for as much shit as we give Anthony Richardson, 6-1 against the number this year.
He covers.
He covers. I like Ursulita this week. The Colts. Plus 260 on the money line if you want to get fucking raw like Monday nights.
That's nuts. And it sounds crazy at first until you realize that the Colts just are bred for close games. They're not an organization that gets embarrassed on the regular. And the Lions, man, like if there's any, like you have to fight fire against fire here. If the Colts are able to run the ball against the Lions and control the clock, could be a long game. Like the Lions thrive on being able to get lots of possessions on you, but if you can keep the ball away from them, shit.
Do you know why I really like Green Bay in the NFC? Because of their defense. They match up well with the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Sunday Night Football game was very concerning for me, even though they won when Jared Goff threw the 5 interceptions. It's not so much about Jared Goff. I think he's playing great this year. You know, he had that one bad game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him a pass on that. But for me, it was more so you saw Joe Mixon play well, and then they didn't have Nico Collins in that game, Houston, but also the matchup defensively in the secondary. That's how you beat a team like the Lions.
Yep.
And I think that's why I think the Colts could do it, and I think I'm still not buying into Detroit. For as much of a juggernaut as they've been,
Right.
it's a reason why I'm on the Colts this week and why I like them to win outright. I think the matchup favors them.
All right. Well, since you went with your toxic one, I'll hit my Ursulita because we haven't given your Giants enough love on this show. The Giants, 5.5-point dogs. Tommy DeVito coming in at named starter. First off, let the people know, if they are new listeners, how you feel about Tommy DeVito and what this does for the Giants.
Buckle up. Not for good reasons. This guy fucked up the draft last year. He's going to do the same shit. He's going to come in and he's going to win 2 to 3 games he has no business winning. The season is lost. Everyone's probably going to get fired. All my friends that are Italians and you're doing all of this shit, just remember Jaden Daniels could have been ours. Drake May could have been ours. These are the same fans, George, that wanted us during the draft when we had the 6th pick to trade up to go and get one of these quarterbacks. It's like, no, what are you going to trade? We have 19 issues on our roster. There's 3 guys that we could keep.
Yep.
So Tommy DeVito is going to come in and he's going to win. And I'm going to be, the fucking unfollow button's going to be on fire over the next couple of weeks. Because people are going to be posting about it like, yo, we won, dude. We beat the Packers on Monday Night Football. We haven't won a primetime game in years. Enjoy. Look at what Jaden Daniels is doing. Look what Drake May is doing. I like Drake May a lot. I'm loving a lot of what I'm seeing from him in New England. But this is what's going to happen. They should have just stayed with Daniel Jones. The team hates that he's not starting, by the way. A lot of reports coming out that they're like, yo, they did him wrong. That's a financial issue because they saved like $50 million if he doesn't hit these certain incentives. It's a weird contract that Daniel Jones has. But I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. Because Tommy DeVito got nothing to lose. So he's going to go out there firing, try to make plays like he did last year. And it's just going to set the team back further and further away. So if you're a fan of any team in the division, you're fucking bricked up that Tommy DeVito is starting. But this is a terrible, terrible thing. We're just gimmicky, bro. We're gimmicky. Like, oh, the passing paisan and all this shit. Like,
well, yeah, it's
corny.
And that's why you have to, although the Giants, extremely ugly team, you take them this week. They're 5.5-point dogs. Tommy DeVito in his 6 starts is 4-2 against the number. It's going to be electric for the Giants fans. I can't wait for when do you think we'll see the first tweet? 9 a.m. with his agent in the fedora?
Oh, bro, he's going to be so
8
back.
a.m.?
Yeah. He'll be back.
Where has he been? I just love that he just comes in and out. Like, as soon as Tommy DeVito wasn't starting anymore, he disappeared.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I figured though he might like try to take the moment up, but
bro,
honestly,
that's peak Italian New Yorker. When shit is going well, they're around. When shit goes south, you out the picture. Look at the history of like iconic Italians in fucking New York City. When shit is nice, they're with you. When it's not, they fucking La Costa Nostra, not with them. They gone.
That's hilarious. But take the Giants minus 5 or plus 5.5 this week. My trust me one.
Okay.
Chargers as dogs in the Harbaugh Bowl. I love it.
Bro, hold on real quick. Was a Monday winner, and it's also my trust me. And I'm wearing yellow. You got some yellow
bro,
on
I
you?
look like I'm wearing a Charger. This is actually a South Dakota School of Mines.
Bro, I'm
thing, but-
in, dude. I'm in.
Chargers.
Trust me, by the way, 9-2 on the year.
Superchargers.
So I like this. Yeah, but go on. Continue. Why? Because I'm with you. Whatever you say about this game, I'm going to just co-sign.
Roquan Smith for the Ravens, a very integral piece in trying to stop the run game, did not participate at practice today, which goes to tell me that if he's that limited heading into the later half of the week, that could be a source of concern, right? Because he might get the start, but if he's banged up, all the Chargers do is run the ball downhill early and often, and you're going to have to figure out how to stop it. I also think it's just a great spot for the Chargers to play the Ravens just after like a physical affair. You know what I mean? It matches up stylistically well where they're going to exploit the Ravens the same way that the Steelers did. Najee Harris and the Steelers were able to pick up 122 rush yards. So, it goes up there. It's some of the most that the Ravens have allowed all season. Now you're going to meet another running back who, by the way, revenge game, really big revenge game for J.K. Dobbins. I love the Chargers here in this spot. You've always said it. The Chargers as underdogs, they're a profitable team.
Love it. Chargers as underdogs, yes. I love the J.K. Dobbins revenge game. Dude, by the way, shout out to him, bro. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Should be comeback player of the year.
Correct.
The guy has torn his Achilles multiple times. He's torn ACLs multiple times. Cut, signed. Like, shout out to him, bro, because not a lot of people would persevere and go through that. You know, it's something that it's very impressive to see him do. So I definitely want to give him his roses on that. And I think that, comeback player of the year for sure. If not him, who?
I'm going to do one better for the people because now it's time, Nick.
Uh-oh.
Now it's time.
Go ahead.
I'll save my toxic one for the end, but since we're talking about him, in this economy, J.K. Dobbins to score 3+ touchdowns, 18-1. Comeback player of the year was my main point for this because it is scoring 3 touchdowns, which is something he's never done before in his career in a game. But in the past 3 weeks, he's had 2 games in which he scored 2 touchdowns. The Chargers are finding him in the red zone, and the game plan is centered around scoring it. I know that Jim is going to try to exploit, the Ravens for giving him up. And I think the Chargers game plan is let's let Lamar throw it to Zay Flowers all day. Let's stop the run with Derrick Henry, and let's have J.K. Dobbins control the game for the offense. 3+ touchdowns, J.K. Dobbins. I'm assuming it's going to be 2 rushing, 1 receiving. 18-1.
Dude, I love it. I love it because my in this economy was him to just score a touchdown.
We're on the same wavelength.
Can I
ladder? We got to ladder him.
We got a ladder, and also, you know what else? I think we do a Chargers +3, J.K. Dobbins anytime touchdown parlay. You get +260 on that.
Oh, beautiful.
That's a nice one. And then if you want to do the same bet with 2 touchdowns, same bet with 3 touchdowns, get really funky. I like that a lot.
That's where my money's going this weekend. For sure.
I'm with you on that.
And it's prime time too, baby. Oh, it's going to be good.
So my in this economy was Dobbins to score. By the way, that is just -120 for him to score. You know what else could be interesting? How about this? A double revenge game? Gus Edwards? Maybe both of them.
I thought about it.
Could get plus 220 on him to score.
Just parlay those.
Parlay those two together. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for revenge games, bro. Everyone knows this.
I know. And this is definitely a perfect spot for it.
I'll wrap the show with Becky.
Okay.
Kind of hinted at it before. I love this spot for the Packers. They're playing the Niners. It's an early start. Sorry, it's not an early start. It's at 4:25 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific time. I just don't think the Niners are a good football team right now. I really don't. And you look at Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, when he plays good teams, shows up. And there's always that big brother, little brother between him and Shanahan. They're at home. I think that Jordan Love and the Packers are going to start steamrolling some people. And I think it's going to start now. Shanahan has faced the Packers 7 times in his career. He's 3-0 in the playoffs against them, but he's 1-3 straight up during the regular season. So maybe one of those scenarios where you bet with him in the playoffs, bet against them in the regular season. And I just like this one right here, man. I think that the Packers beat them by 3 touchdowns this week. And then the conversation Monday is, damn, San Fran is pretty fucked, huh?
Right.
That's what I think happens.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that. I am going to wrap with my toxic one. The Dolphins as 7.5-point favorites against the Patriots.
Yeah.
That cover like a motherfucker. Every stat that is listed is like, since 2020, the Dolphins have covered the spread 8 times against the Patriots. This is a different Patriots team than the Dolphins have seen in the past. The script is going to be different. And it just gives me, remember how the Dolphins used to upset the Patriots back in the late 2010s? And we'd be like, how in the hell did the Dolphins do this? Well, the roles have been reversed. And I'm not saying that the Patriots are going to win outright, but they certainly are definitely going to cover. Certainly, definitely.
Certainly, definitely.
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's keep the good vibes and momentum going. By the way, can I just give you a little bit of a nice send-off for us?
Okay.
You know who is minus 115 to win Offensive Player of the Year?
Saquon?
Our boy. Bring us home, bro. Bring us home. Hey.
Chargers shut him down this week?
No.
Shut down Derrick Henry?
Oh, yeah. Shut down Derrick Henry on prime time. The night before, Barkley goes nuts against the Rams. Come on, bro. Bring us home.
Big week.
Bring us home. Jamar Chase is on a bye. Barkley goes out there and has 3 touchdowns, and Derrick Henry has like 20 carries for 43 yards. We might be so fucking back.
It's going to happen. We called it here first.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. Please follow, like, subscribe, tag us. Let people know that you're listening to the show. Feedback is a blessing. You guys make the show better for us. You guys are the best cosign for the show. As far as I go, it's at Nick Day 10 on all social media outlets. George.
At Mr. George Carbona on all social media platforms. And yeah, have a great betting weekend. $1 to the Patreon can change your under 500 weekend into an over 500 weekend. Try it out. Just test it out.
Test the waters.
Test it out.
Peace.
Later.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.